I'm going to give you a couple of amazing law of attraction tips that have changed the lives of not only myself, but countless personal development mentors around the world like Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor, Earl Nightingale, and plenty of other people that have referenced his work. It's Psycho-Cybernetics by a man named Maxwell Maltz. What Psycho-Cybernetics is essentially the trajectory of your life. We're either programmed as children from 0 to 7 with our subconscious minds open, influencing everything that we do. 95% of all of our actions are governed by the subconscious mind, our emotions, and the way that we feel about life. And the way that we feel about life projects out into the world, and that gives us back exactly what we're going to take action on. A simple smile or grimace from someone else can mean two different things depending on what your mood is. And Psycho-Cybernetics essentially says that imagine this, if you had a plane that was flying from Los Angeles to Paris, what's happening is the plane is always off course and getting corrected all the way until it gets to Paris. And that is cybernetics. Now, Psycho-Cybernetics is kind of the same idea. You have a particular trajectory for the way that your life is going to be going. Knowing this, you have to understand what subconscious programs you've got running. Why? Because inside of your subconscious mind runs everything. It's kind of like a computer program. You can have the program of money is evil, life is difficult, people don't like me, I'm very ugly, I'm not very good at this. And therefore, once you look out into the world, you'll start noticing the replication of this. You'll start noticing that if you're not good at something, you probably won't practice it. Right? If you're ugly, you probably won't go talk to people. And then anything that they might say or whisper in the hall might sound like them talking about you or calling you out or calling you ugly, even if that is nowhere near the situation of what it really is. For example, for me now, I had to overcome that thought and feeling of thinking that people were talking negatively about me. People could be whispering about anything. You can kind of hear that people were talking bad. And what you do is you misinterpret what's actually going on in real life in order to fit your model of the world to make you satisfied, to make you right. And so these tips are to help change your trajectory. If your trajectory is towards failure, non-success, poor relationships, anger all of the time, a bad workplace, the goal is to actually get you some new programs so that you can start moving forward in your life in the direction that you would really want to go. Whether that's a better family life, more money, whether that is getting better at sports, playing better music, living your best life, traveling, whatever that may look like for you. So a couple of tips that I've used personally for myself was, I thought that people were talking negatively about me. And the tool that I used in order to overcome this was I would look at people and strangers in public and I would say, I love you, I love your outfit, I love this about you, you look so amazing today. And what that intended to do was for me to eventually look in the mirror and then say it to myself. The goal is for you to love yourself. And this is called auto-suggestion. It's in chapter 4 of the book Think and Grow Rich. And auto-suggestion is a self-suggestion. And when you suggest to yourself something over and over and over again, over the course of 21 days, this is from Maxwell Maltz, over the course of 21 days, you eventually build the habit of changing what it is that you actually believe. And so a lot of these law of attraction tips are not really to change your subconscious mind, even though they do. It's more of like a training. It's more of like a building up into being a different person out of habit. And one of the best habits I've found is to give other people positivity first. The next one is to write down in a journal every single day all of the things that you are grateful for. Why? Because if you're waking up every single morning saying, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't have this, I don't have that, you're moving yourself in a place of I don't have, I don't like, I'm not. And what you'll see is you'll get a lot more of that habitually because you don't have. You're not even going to be able to recognize what you do have because you don't have all the time. And that is a very powerful thing to realize, is that these law of attraction tips, I believe, can be really sorted down into a habit and a training, The next thing that I've done that has actually revolutionized the way that I lived my life, and it's brought a lot of things in my life, making me the youngest sergeant in the U.S. Army, eventually at some point getting married and doing some other stuff, and getting my real estate license and all that kind of cool, awesome stuff. Be careful when you pick the whole marriage thing, because I definitely did the marriage thing, but I was not prepared and ready for that. So make sure that you're picking things that are very, very beneficial to you, because what I realized was when I was selecting certain things, I was feeling in a gap of lack rather than asking for things that I truly wanted. But this tip really does work, and I've seen it help myself visually in an immense way, where I wrote down on a piece of paper, I am William Stewart. I am 23 years, I think I was 28 years old at the time, but I wrote 21. I'm a sergeant in the U.S. Army. I'm a realtor. I'm a university student. And yeah, I'm married, and I'm 24 years old at the very bottom, and then I'm William Stewart. And then all of those things came true. And at the time, I believe I was like 20 years old, had like straight F's in like all my classes, so I couldn't really get into college. I failed my real estate license like 3 times. What else did I say I was? I was a sergeant in the U.S. Army. I was like way too young to be a sergeant in the U.S. Army. And yeah, so from there, like in the next, I think 6 months, I had all of those things. And it was a crazy thing to see all of those things become realized so fast. And now I do the exact same thing, but with other goals, better goals, things that I like to fulfill me rather than filling a gap, you know what I mean? So those are a couple of tips. The very last tip, and I think one of the most important tips to remember, is to take it slow. If you are going to worry yourself, be nervous, be fearful, be do or die, you're never going to get what you want. If it's do or die, you just won't get what you want, because you're in a state of lack that is so deep and so embedded that you know for a fact that you just can't have something, so you do or die it. And every single time you fail, you fail, you fail, you fail, you fail. You need to be in a place where you feel comfortable, feel happy, feel fulfilled, feel glad, feel full, not struggling, not dying, not the world's never going to work for me. Oh my God, there's so much things that are holding me back, because that's the state of energy that you're in, and that state of energy just does not reproduce results. So, from my to yours, I love you. Hit the subscribe button, it helps other people get these great ass tips, and I love you.